The aurora drifted silently through the swirling blue haze of the Yarith Nebula. Its whole lights cut short beams into the mist, but the view outside the bridge windows was almost blankly shifting clouds of gas and faint glimmers of distant stars. Lieutenant Aiden Cole sat at the sensor console, his eyes fixed on a strange set of waveforms. The sound in his earpiece was soft and rhythmic, almost musical. "It's purring," he muttered, half to himself. From the captain's chair, Commander Mara Holt raised an eyebrow. "Purring? Out here?" Aiden increased the volume. The bridge filled with a low melodic vibration. It wasn't random static. It rose and fell in a pattern gentle, almost like a lullaby. "It's coming from 40,000 clicks ahead," Aiden said. "The signal's steady, not like any distress call we've logged before." The crew listened in silence. Even the veteran engineer Briggs shifted uncomfortably. "Sounds too alive for a machine," he grumbled. Before anyone could reply, the nebula ahead darkened. Something vast blotted out the faint starlight, an enormous silhouette drifting through the fog. "Contact," Aiden snapped. "Bearing 048. Range decreasing fast." The dark shape slid closer, and the aurora's lights touched it. The crew gasped. The object wasn't metal. Its surface shimmered like fine hair, moving in slow ripples, as if a giant breeze passed through it. The thing pulsed faintly with light from within, as though it had veins and a heartbeat. Mara whispered, That's not a ship. It's alive." Aiden's fingers flew over the console. Size estimate 100 meters across. No known match in the xenobiology database. They opened a CUM channel. Unidentified vessel. "This is the human scout ship Aurora. We are peaceful explorers." "Do you read?" Only the purring sound answered. "Repeat. Unidentified vessel." The thing moved. From its furry surface, thousands of tiny orbs detached, drifting like dandelion seeds through space. They glowed faintly and floated toward Aurora. Captain Briggs said nervously. "Do we shoot them? They're small?" Aiden said. "Less than a meter wide. No heat signature. No weapons detected." The pods drifted closer, spinning gently. They tapped against the Aurora's hull and stuck like magnets. In seconds, dozens had attached themselves to the ship. "Something's connecting to our outer ports," Briggs reported. "Not hacking. More like sticking. Launch a probe," Mara ordered. Minutes later, the external camera feed came online. The image showed one of the glowing pods clamped to the hull. Its surface rippled. Then, with a hiss, it opened. Inside lay a creature about half a meter long. Its body was like a caterpillar segmented, covered in short, soft fur. But its head was like a cat's, with round cheeks, delicate whiskers, and enormous liquid eyes. The eyes blinked at the camera. "Cute," Briggs muttered, in a weird, alien way. Another pod opened, then another. Soon, dozens of the strange beings clung to the ship's exterior. Some pressed their tiny paws against the camera lens, their whiskers twitching. "Still no communication?" Mara asked. Aiden shook his head. "Only the purring. Same rhythm, same melody." Suddenly, one of the creatures moved with surprising speed. It crawled along the hull, reached an emergency airlock, and began working. Its paws moved with strange precision, almost like it was picking a lock. "They're trying to get in," Briggs barked. "Seal the airlocks," Mara ordered. Too late. The small creature slipped inside as the lock disengaged. The internal cameras caught it crawling into the corridor, glancing around like a curious child. Mara stood. "Security team to deck 3. But before the team arrived, Aiden left his station. Something about the creature's eyes. It wasn't hostile. It looked scared. He found it near the junction to the engineering bay. It froze, staring at him. Slowly, Aiden knelt. "It's okay," he said softly. "We won't hurt you." The little being tilted its head. Its fur rippled slightly, as if in a silent shiver. Then, in a voice so clear, it froze him in place. It spoke. "We need your help." Before they find us, Aiden's heart pounded. Before who finds you? The creature's ears flattened. Its eyes darted toward the ceiling as if it could. See beyond the ship's hull, out into the swirling nebula, where the massive living vessel still drifted. Then it whispered one more word. Harvesters. The lights on the bridge flickered. The purring signal vanished. And from the nebula's far edge, the Aurora's long-range sensors detected something. Large. Moving toward them fast. Harvester signaled the bridge of the Aurora was filled with the faint hum of the engines and the sharp, urgent beeps of the sensor console. Multiple contacts, Aiden reported, his voice tight, coming in fast. 3. 4 signatures. Size unknown. Commander Mara Holt leaned forward. Harvester ships. The small creature, still sitting on the floor near Aiden's boots, flinched at the word. They will strip everything, it whispered. Metal, energy, life. Briggs, the engineer, frowned at the sensor readout. I don't like this. You're broadcasting something low frequency, almost like sonar. The creature's fur rippled, and it let out a soft, trembling sound. They're calling each other. They've found us. Mara glanced at Aiden. Translate that into human terms. Aiden swallowed. We've been marked. Through the bridge windows, the mist outside began to shift. The gas clouds rippled unnaturally, disturbed by something huge moving within them. The purring lullaby they'd been hearing earlier was gun replaced by a deep, bone-shaking thrum. They're jamming long-range comms, Aiden said, tapping frantically at his console. We can't warn command. Briggs swore under his breath. Captain, if those are harvesters, we don't have the firepower for a stand-up fight. Mara's eyes were fixed on the sensor display. The 4 signatures had multiplied. Now, there were 6, 8, 10. They're surrounding us, she said. The little alien cat-faced caterpillar body climbed onto the edge of Aiden's chair. Your ship can run. My people's ship. Cannot. They will tear it apart. Mara turned toward it. Your people's ship? You mean that giant fur-covered vessel out there? The creature nodded slowly. The Mochicat-Erpillar. Our home. We are travelers. We sing through the stars to find safe skies. Its voice dropped to a whisper. The harvesters follow the song. Then why sing at all? Briggs demanded. The creature's ears flattened. Because it keeps the young ones calm. Without the song, they panic and die. Aiden looked. At Mara, Captain. If these harvesters attack that thing, it's over. It's not a warship. It's a living ship. Mara's jaw tightened. Then we need to make a choice. Run or fight? The crew didn't answer. Outside, the swirling fog began to thin. Shapes emerged. Black jagged silhouettes like giant insects made of metal. Their spindly legs curled inward, and their bodies bristled with strange weapon. Pod's Aiden's hands tightened on his console. Harvester ships confirmed, and they're locking weapons. The first beam cut through the nebula like a hot knife, grazing the side of the living ship. The Mochicat-Erpillar's fur rippled. Violently, and a low, pained vibration filled the Aurora's hull like the sound of an animal crying out. The little alien's huge eyes filled with tears. Please, it said to Mara, don't let them take us. Mara took a deep breath. Briggs, power up the railguns. Aiden, plot evasive maneuvers.
Ow, we're buying them time.
Aiden hesitated. Captain, that's going to put us right in their firing line. Mara's gaze didn't waver. Humans don't erase history by turning their backs. The Aurora's engines roared, and the scout ships surged forward, straight toward the harvester formation.
Ow.
The harvesters reacted instantly. 3 peeled away from the main group, focusing their weapons on the much smaller human vessel. Aiden threw the Aurora into a sharp roll as beams of searing light cut through the mist around them. Briggs fired the railguns, and the slugs slammed into the lead harvester, cracking part of its insect-like shell. But then the rest of the harvester fleet opened fire. On the bridge, warning lights flared red, shields at 60%. Briggs shouted. Mara's knuckles were white on the arm of her chair. Hold the line. Keep them off the Mochicat ship. And then, over the chaos, the little alien began to hum. Soft, low, steady. Aiden glanced at it. "What are you doing?" The alien didn't look up, calling my kin. From the living ship ahead, thousands of new pods began to detach far more than before. They streamed toward the Aurora and the harvesters like a glowing storm. For the first time, the harvester formation hesitated. Mara saw her chance. "Dane, take us right through the gap." The Aurora dove between two of the massive insect-like ships. The glowing pods swarmed. Around them, clinging to harvester holes, their soft fur bristling. Sparks of light danced across the alien metal, and the harvester weapons flickered. Briggs grinned savagely. "It's like your friends can bite after all." The alien looked up at him, its voice trembling. "This is only the beginning." From deep within the nebula, something else moved, something even larger than the Mochicat-Erpillar, with a shadow so wide it blotted out the stars. The bridge of the Aurora fell silent. No one spoke. No one even breathed. Out beyond the shattered line of harvester ships, the mist boiled. It didn't drift like normal nebula gas it churned, pushed aside by something colossal moving through. Aiden's hands froze over his console. Captain, that's not on sensors. How is that possible?" Briggs asked, eyes locked on the viewing window. "It's huge." The shape was growing clearer, an impossibly vast outline. It looked like a mountain drifting through space, except it was moving with purpose. Dozens of thin, spire-like structures extended from its body, each glowing faintly at the tips. The little alien's fur flattened against its body. "That is the Elder?" Mara turned sharply toward it. "Elder." The alien's voice was barely more than a whisper. "The first of us. The one who remembers every journey, every danger. It sleeps for centuries, till the harvester song wakes." "It?" Aiden's brow furrowed. "Wait, you're saying this thing woke up because the harvesters attacked?" The alien nodded once. "It is not here to fight, unless it must." Outside, the harvester ships seemed to react in panic. Their formation broke apart. Some backed away into the mist. Others began firing wildly not at the Aurora, but at the approaching shadow. A low, thrumming vibration rolled through space, so deep it made the Aurora's hull tremble. It was coming from the Elder, the little alien. Tilted its head, listening. "It's speaking to them." Mara glanced at Aiden. Translation: Teen shook his head. "I'm not getting any language patterns. This is more like resonance. A warning." The Elder moved closer. Its glowing spires pulsed in. Slow rhythm, each pulse sending waves of energy across the nebula. Wherever the waves touched harvester ships, their weapons dimmed. Engines sputtered. Some simply stopped moving altogether. Briggs leaned forward. "It's shutting them down," without firing a shot. But then one harvester didn't retreat. It was larger than the others, its shell a deep crimson. It broke away from the group and launched directly toward the Elder, weapons blazing. Each beam struck against a shimmering field around the massive creature, lighting up the mist in violent bursts. The Elder didn't move, simply shifted its resonance faster, deeper, harsher. Suddenly, the Crimson Harvester's attack faltered. Its limbs twitched, curling inward. Cracks spread across its armored body, until, with a final shudder, it split apart into fragments. Aiden's eyes widened. It killed it with sound. The rest of the harvesters fled into the fog. Nebula began to fall quiet. Again, only the steady purr of the Elder's ship remained. Mara kept her gaze on the massive shadow. "Do we thank it, or does it even know we exist?" The little alien smiled faintly. "It knows. It always knows. And now, it will want to see you." Aiden glanced at Mara, uneasy. "Captain?" "I don't like the sound of that." Mara's lips pressed into a thin line. It's too late for second thoughts. "Helm, bring us about. Let's meet our host." The Aurora slowly approached the Elder's vast body. One of the glowing spires extended toward them like a giant finger. A bright doorway of golden light appeared in the middle of the spire, just big enough for the Aurora to fly through. Briggs muttered under his breath. This is how horror vids start. Mara didn't look away from the light, or how legends begin. The aurora drifted forward, crossing into the glow. As soon as they entered, the crew gasped. Inside, there was no metal, no machinery, just a vast living chamber filled with soft, glowing air and enormous tendrils that pulsed like veins. And at the far end of the chamber, a pair of golden eyes the size of a human shuttle slowly opened. The elder's gift, the golden eyes blinked slowly. Even from a distance, the crew felt the weight of its gaze, as if it could see not just their faces, but their memories, their fears, their thoughts. No one spoke.
Ow.
No one dared. The little alien stepped forward, fur rippling in waves of color. It made a soft trill, almost like a bird call. The sound echoed in the chamber. The elder responded not in words, but in a deep tone that rattled the bones of every human aboard the Aurora. Aiden clutched his seat. I think it's speaking. Not in language. More like Mara's eyes narrowed. More like it's inside our heads. A voice, vast and calm, formed in their minds. You are far from your son. Crew froze. This wasn't coming from the Cums, it was direct. Mara took a slow breath. We didn't mean to intrude. We found your people. She glanced at the little alien and helped them. The golden eyes shifted slightly toward the alien, then back to Mara. You carry their song now. That is why I let you enter. Briggs whispered. What does that even mean? The elder continued. The harvester swarm rises again. They have eaten worlds you will never see, but they fear your kind. Aiden blinked. Us? Humans? Yes. The words struck like a drumbeat in their minds. Long before this cycle, your species fought them. And one they do not forget. Mara frowned. But there's no record of that. Humanity's only been in deep space a few decades. The elder's eyes dimmed, then brightened again, as if it were remembering something old. Your ancestors stood with us when the void burned. They left no monuments. They asked for none. That is why the harvesters hunt you in shadows, because they know what you may become again. A pulse of golden light spread through the chamber. The tendrils above them shifted, lowering something small toward the Aurora's decasphere. Perfectly smooth, glowing faintly blue. This is my gift, the elder said. A seed of memory. When the time comes, it will awaken. And so, will you? Mara stepped closer to the sphere. The surface rippled at her touch, almost liquid. For the briefest moment, she saw Flash's armies of humans in strange armor. Standing on alien soil, ships like titans tearing through enemy fleets. She pulled her hand back, heart racing. Aiden looked uneasy. Captain, we have no idea what that thing does. The elder's tone deepened. Guard it. The song of your kind will be silenced forever. Before they could ask more, the chamber began to shift. Tendrils withdrew. The golden doorway opened behind them. The elder's eyes slowly closed. Voice faded, leaving only one last thought in their minds. We will meet again when the dark tide comes. The Aurora was gently pushed out into the mist. Mara stood on the bridge, staring at the blue sphere in her hands. We just made first contact with a living starship. It told us we're already at war. Briggs muttered, Great, end. I didn't even sign up for the legendary war part. Aiden glanced at the sensors. Captain, you're going to want to see this. On the edge of the nebula, dozens of new harvester ships were gathering, but this time they weren't. Just attacking they were, forming something big enough to block out the stars. The bridge of the Aurora shook as the harvester formation closed in. On the sensors, the shapes were impossible spiked silhouettes, each one like a jagged shard of night. They're moving fast, Aiden said, his voice tight. Too fast. They'll intercept in under 6 minutes. Mara's jaw tightened. Plot a course out of the nebula. Full burn. The engines roared to life, pushing the Aurora through the mist. But the glowing clouds made navigation treacherous dense. Pockets of gas twisted their readings, and shadows moved in the fog, like predators circling prey. Briggs slammed his hands on the console. They're hurting us. They know where we're going before we do. Then it happened. The blue sphere on the captain's chair, silent since the elder's gift, flared like a miniature star. Every screen on the Aurora flickered, then went black. "Systems are down," Aiden shouted. "Comes nav. Weapons dead." The light from the sphere pulsed again, this time sending a wave through the air. Mara felt it in her bones, a deep resonating hum that seemed to match her heartbeat. "Captain." Briggs's voice was shaking now. "I think it's talking." The hum grew into a whisper, not through the come straight into their minds. "You are not alone." Images flashed before them, giant ships of human design, but unlike anything in history. Sleek, armored, bristling with strange weapons, they moved in perfect formation, surrounding a harvester swarm and annihilating it. Mara gasped. These are our ships," the voice replied. "They are yours, if you remember." Outside, the harvester fleet drew closer. The Aurora's lights flickered back on, but now the control panels showed. Strange new icons, glowing in pale blue. Aiden hesitated. "Captain, I think the sphere just rewrote our systems." Mara looked at him sharply. "What do you mean?" He tapped one of the icons. "I mean, it just gave us weapons we didn't have 5 seconds ago." The harvester formation shifted, their jagged holes glinting in the nebula's haze. "We're ready to strike," the voice spoke once more. "Show them the song of your kind." Mara's hand hovered over the control. Every instinct screamed, "Don't trust alien tech." But something in the hum felt familiar. "Target the lead ship," she ordered. Aiden's finger touched the control. Aurora's hull shimmered. And from the space just ahead of the bow, a beam of pure white light erupted, silent, focused, and devastating. The lead harvester ship simply vanished, not exploded, not broken, gone, as if erased from existence. The rest of the swarm hesitated. Briggs stared at the display. Captain, I think we just scared them." For the first time, Mara saw it. Toothed, jagged ships were pulling back. Not retreating entirely, but watching, studying. The sphere dimmed, its work done. Voice faded, leaving only a final, quiet warning. "They will return, stronger. And when they do, you must be ready." Mara clenched her fists. "Well, we'll be ready." The truth they feared. The Aurora emerged from the nebula 3 days later. The crew was exhausted, silent, still shaken by the voice of the sphere. Human space lay ahead bright. Beacons of come satellites, patrol ships, and the safe blue glow of Earth's traffic lanes. But something felt wrong. Mara had sent an urgent, encrypted message to High Command about the harvesters, the elder species, and the new weapon the sphere had unlocked. The reply came back almost instantly. "Stand down, return to port. Do not discuss your findings." She read it 3 times. The wording was cold, too direct. "Why wouldn't they want to hear what happened?" Briggs muttered. "Just survived first contact with something that should have killed us in seconds." Aiden leaned closer to the captain's chair. "Ma'am, what if they already know?" The thought hit her harder than any harvester weapon. When they docked at the military station above Earth, the hangar was already full officers, security teams, and a man in a black uniform with no insignia. His eyes scanned the crew like a predator assessing prey. "Captain Mara Vance," he said flatly. "You and your crew are ordered to debrief in isolation. All ship logs and recordings will be confiscated. The incident will be classified." Permanently, Mara's jaw tightened. "Why?" The man didn't blink. "Because humanity isn't ready to remember." Behind him, workers in sealed suits began removing the sphere from the Aurora. The gentle blue glow pulsed once, as if aware it was being taken. "You can't!" Aiden started, but Mara's hand shot up to silence him. The man stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Captain, if the public knew what you saw, if they learned the truth about the harvesters, panic would destroy everything we've built. This is bigger than you, bigger than all of us." Then, almost as an afterthought, he added, "And if you speak about it again, you won't live to regret it." Mara said nothing, but inside, the warning only hardened her resolve. That night, in her private quarters, she opened her personal recorder, a tiny device no one had found during the search. She began to speak in a low, steady voice. "If you are hearing this, it means they failed to silence me. The harvesters are real, the sphere is real, and our history is a lie. They've erased the truth before, but not this time. Someone, out there, remembers, and I intend to find them. Far beyond Earth, in the silent depths of the nebula, harvester ships regrouped. Their jagged forms circled in the dark, and deep within their command vessel, a voice like iron whispered one word in a language no human could understand. But if translated, it would mean, soon. Mara closed the recorder and hid it inside her jacket. Her war hadn't ended. It had just begun.